Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Oh, Durst the worst.
Durst is the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst. Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Durst the worst.
Just look at the frickin' damage that's been done, the psychological and physical damage that's been done to white people, particularly white women, dude. Look at how conciliatory this woman is. I mean, she got the shit beat out of her at her job by a Blaque, by Donkey Kong, alright, meets E.T., alright? And look at what she says. Let's listen to her relay the story of her violent encroachment, or excuse me, the violent encroachment upon her by people of basketball, watermelon, and fried chicken. Let's listen to her story.
He came in 3 times that night. The first time, my assistant manager was there and he didn't say a word to me. The second time, he came back in when I was by myself at like 3 o'clock in the morning and he starts asking me all this personal information.
Predator.
I didn't want to tell him anything other than what I'm supposed to because I don't want anything like this to happen. So he steps up onto the back where you can't like leave.
He has a chimp
the
out.
register and basically traps me behind there and starts asking me the same question over and over and over again because I'm not.
So when feminists, this is interesting. So when feminists talk about, you know, male entitlements and how they're afraid to say no and all that stuff, they're afraid to say no to quote unquote men more broadly. Yeah, no, it's a specific demographic of men. You're right. It's the darker man. It's the darker mans, isn't it? Isn't it? The mans that are fucking catcalling you, asking you out like 18 times in a row, very aggressively, getting violent with you when you say no. This is it. This is it. Let this be a physical warning. This picture right here. This is what happens to you when you diversify your country and you refuse to stick up for yourself and you refuse to stand up for what's happening. This is exactly what happens. You get feminists and leftists obfuscating and muddying the waters and making the discussion not what it's about, which is racial. It's not men, okay, in general doing it. It's a specific demographic of men, and you're not allowed to say it, but let's see what she has to say.
Responding to him. I eventually tell him that he needs to leave or I'm just going to call the police because I'm not going to do that.
That
I'm
racist.
not one to call the police, especially when we have a lot of black people who come into the store. I know what that's like, but if you're like threatening...
Dude, listen to that again. I'm not one to call the police especially because we have black people that need to like punch my face in and stomp it into the ground and give me 10 stitches. Oh my god. See, like, we're afraid to say no to men because they're gonna stomp our faces in. No, dude, Tyrone is gonna stomp your fucking face in. Let's listen to that fucking again. Let's listen to that shit again.
Because I'm not going to do that. I'm not one not responding to him. I eventually tell him that he needs to leave or I'm just going to call the police because I'm not going to do that. I'm not one to call the police, especially when we have a lot of black people who come into the store. I know what that's like, but if you're like threatening my life and you're not letting me leave the back of the counter, yeah, I'm going to threaten to call the police. Anyway, he comes.
That's why people call the police on these people, you dumb twant. Twat plus cunt equals twant. There's a new word for you. Twant. Hashtag twant. Okay? I'm so sick of... Dude, like, women's bleeding hearts are ruining this country, okay? Allowing women the right to vote and the right to be in the workforce and the right to participate in this is like dropping a fucking meteor on your fucking country. I swear to God. It really is. That's why you have these corner stores that are all fucked up like this and have so many freaking crackheads coming in, getting aggressive with the women behind the counter. And probably the guys too. Jesus Christ.
4:30 in the morning. He starts doing the same thing again. He comes up to exactly where he was the last time and he starts asking me over and over and over and over and over again how old I am because I keep telling him I'm grown. I'm an adult. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know when I get off work. You don't need to know where I live. None of that is important to you.
Dude.
And so finally he like...
So she would, let me get this straight. She was hesitant to call the cops even after 4 attempts of, man, girl, where do you live? Where you at? Mama, me, my mom, papa, people, pie. You know what I'm saying? Where you at, girl? How you old? You want me? How old y'all is? Yeah, let me get some blah, be my mom. Let me get that papa, people, pie. After, I mean, maybe I'm losing count, but it seems like this happened 4 times, 2 of which he's getting behind the counter and blocking her path. Basic civility, you know, in a civilized country suggests that you're not allowed to go behind the fucking counter at the gas station. I can't imagine a white person doing that. I just can't imagine it. Oh, but no, it's men. It's masculinity in general, right, feminists? Right. Dude, if you're a feminist, if you're a leftist, you caused this. You advocated for this. You rioted for this in 2020. This is your doing. I don't want to hear any fucking leftist, feminist, anything like that saying they speak up for the rights of women or anything like that, because you are putting not just women, but men in that much more fucking physical danger with your shitty policies, with your shitty bleeding heart. Okay? We men of reason, of intellect, are mopping up after your bleeding heart constantly. This shit has got to stop, dude.
Like, starts walking towards me, and I grab the phone and I go to call the police, and I said, okay, if you're going to walk at me, I'm going to call the police. And he starts, getting like, oh, don't do that.
Oh wait, I want to before I continue, I definitely want to hear her Ebonics impression. But so it took her like it took the guy getting on her like 4 times before she called the police, because she's brainwashed by BLM type propaganda. There's so many black people that come in the store, and I'm just like not one to do that. Even if the guy's like being a fucking predator right in front of you, it's on camera. After the second time, she should have called the cops and filed a report. Seriously. For fuck's sake.
And he starts, getting like, oh, don't do that. And I'm like, you are not where you're supposed to be. I have told you several times you need to get down, you need to leave, and you're making me feel unsafe. And he still didn't. After I called the cops, he grabbed that phone from my hand, hung up, but...
So, wait, let me just make this clear. You're a white person that wants safety in your own community. That's white supremacy, don't you know? We've heard it from the left a million times. White people wanting safety and wanting a high trust society. That's white supremacy. You're practically a white power supporter. You're practically a neo-Nazi skinhead for opposing your own intimidation, menacing, and beating at your own fucking job at the hands of a fucking Donkey Kong looking ass.
Phone from my hand, hung up, but luckily it had already called them, and he proceeded to beat me to the fucking ground and try to rape me in the back of the store.
Of course he did. He's Jamal.
Is that enough fucking detail for you? Do you want the screaming?
No.
You need to leave! You need to fucking leave!
Holy
I
shit.
can't listen to another second of that, but...
I can't either.
But here we go. Just so you can be all up in my space. Is it my fault?
I mean, if you do that shit about, like, I don't call the police because, like, Black Lives Matter, in my opinion, yes, you asked for it to a large degree. Is that brutal of me to say? I don't know. This chick needs to have a massive attitude adjustment with how she thinks of blacks. She really does. Because, I mean, dude, your bleeding heart is putting me in danger, too. You probably, I mean, your mindset, if you didn't yourself, other people probably got in the street and demanded guys like that be let out. Demanded guys like that be let out of jail, be given probation, be given all his fucking extra special preferential treatment. Is it your fault you got beaten? No, it's his fault because he's a fucking savage. But, I mean, politically, socially, it's people like yours' fault that we are under these conditions in the first place. Absolutely. I mean, brutal as it may sound, women vote for their own beatings and rapes all the time. It's fucked up. It's beyond 50 Shades of Grey. It's the reason of apartheid. Wow, brutal. They have free reign to do what they like. Look at the farmers in South Africa. Yes, the Boers being murdered and raped daily and barely mentioned. This is happening right now in Europe, and people are turning a blind eye to it. It's being encouraged because of the MPs and police hushing it up. Yep. Okay, this fucking idiot right here. I don't think they're, quote, wired wrong. Yeah, they're, because referencing the post up here.
He came in 3 times that night. The first time, my assistant manager was there, and he didn't...
Stop. Autoplay's a bitch. We shouldn't have to live like this. None of us should. They are not wired right. We do not belong together. True, 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 true. But this idiot, conservative or libertarian, says, I don't think they're, quote, wired wrong. I think the culture they're raised in promotes this behavior, and no one is willing to replace that culture with a better one. Well, you have to ask yourself, why, genius? We can live together. The only conflict is a dissonance of cultural values. I mean, that's a really nice way of saying they're savages and we're civilized. They're orcs, we're elves. They're Donkey Kong, we're Mario. Wait a minute, no. In the Donkey Kong games, Mario is portrayed as the bad guy. Even though it's like, well, dude, he's just trying to capture a fucking... Or no, wait, in... What is it, Donkey Kong 2? Fuck, whatever. I'm going off on a tangent here. But yeah, Lady Enigma says, I beg to differ on all counts. Based. Anon. You're Anon for a reason. Hope she stays away from Blake's from now on. Based. She was at work when a black man came to her workplace and attacked her. She's not to blame. Yeah, I came out swinging a little bit too hard on her. She's not to blame. It's just like... It's people with that mentality writ large on a macro scale, right? That's what I'm saying. What really killed me was when she said, because I hesitate to call the police, especially because we have a lot of black people come in the store. When I heard that, I was just like, oh yeah, that's the brainwashed BLM ally, to Black Lives Matter, dude comes in at all aggressive, comes behind the counter 4 fucking times, and she doesn't want to call the cops. She refuses to call the cops. She refuses to call the cops, like, even 4 times into it. She refuses to call the cops until her face is being smashed into the fucking safe. Oh my god. Quote, I threatened to call the police. The fact that she thinks that was a threat, or that she was reluctant because she was considering what the police would do or how it might impact the store's reputation with its diverse and culture-enriching community, really grates on me. 100%. That's exactly what the fuck I'm saying, dude. That's exactly what I'm fucking saying. So upset she only did this TikTok because she was being attacked by police, her employers, and POC for trying to protect herself. Exactly, dude. Exactly. I mean, this is worse than that, what was it, Denny's, or what was it, Waffle House, Wigress, who had the fucking didwishas come in and throw shit at her, and she's like, speaking in Ebonics throughout the whole video, refuses to acknowledge that it's about race, all that stuff. This is like 10 times fucking worse. Holy shit. Diversity's not our strength, based. Nope, diversity is far from being our strength. We should never have freed them, could have let them sort their own problems out. We should have freed them and then sent them back to West Africa. If she was black and the guy was white, it would have been on mainstream media, but that doesn't happen, so it's like 10-1. We know, everybody knows that. Sorry this happened to her, but she is less than smart. Giving someone 1 chance is something, but 2 additional chances to come back. Call 911 after the first time. Exactly. Who cares what color they are? Okay, but there's tendencies, and we need to notice. The killer comes in every shade. Not true. You're naive. She was scared alone and at work. Yeah, but dude, Jesus Christ. Kane, what's that supposed to mean? Even more reason to call 911 after the first time. If you're scared alone and some random guy keeps coming in your job screaming in your face, the first thing you do is call 911 and then the manager. Are y'all mentally okay? Exactly. Exactly, dude. The reason... Okay, so Tammy Lohan is half-based. At first she says, oh, crime comes in every color. Sorta, dude. But then she recovers by saying, you're fucking crazy. By saying, oh, she was scared, but shouldn't have called the cops. Dude. Wake up, Whitey. It's time we emancipate ourselves from these people. Exactly. We need to start fighting fire with fire. If they want to come here raping and murdering us, then we need to show them what we will do to discourage that. And with that, if this video even fucking lasts on YouTube, check me up on Rumble, check me out on BitChute, check me out on Odyssey, check me out anywhere but YouTube, because this platform, I mean, I have like 20-some thousand subscribers, and I can only pull like 420 views a video. You know. Here's an epilogue. Where are the feminists at, like I was saying before? I guess beating up women is okay when black men do it, huh? Yeah, because they're freaking turned on by it, because they watch, like, interracial cuckold pornography, because they're mentally ill and deranged. They're brainwashed by BLM propaganda funded by, oi, I wonder who could possibly be, oi, oi, oi. And they're just fucking irreparably brainwashed. So, fuck this. Enjoy the decline.